Yes, yes.
All right, let's
Yeah.
get it. Let's get it. Yeah, we here. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Diamond Cash and Clyde. Y'all listen.
Clyde
Diamond Cash
Slade,
and Clyde Slade again. Let's get it.
see incentives,
Come
mad
on.
props to them,
No, let's get it. And
you
you
know,
already know what it is. Come on.
you know.
Yo, show the shirt for them, please. We need
Yo,
national.
yo,
Come on.
so check this out. So this is a little bit of history right here. National Negro Health Week. It's funny because when I wear, like, white people be looking at me and like they be looking like they be laughing, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it was actually a week. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
If you do your history on it, it was actually it's true. Hold on. Let me see if I can see it. Uh, So, National Negro Health Week was observed during the first week of April and focused on educating Black communities throughout Americas on methods of acquiring health care and informing students on proper practices. This went on from 1915 to 1951.
okay.
Right? This was created by Booker T. Washington. See, they put what they want to give us in school. They didn't give us all the information.
Yes.
The it's crazy because we still deal with these things today from the repercussions of that, from the past. So
Mhm.
we deal with like the genetics of, mainly us black men. We got, hypertension automatically. We can, cancer and different things. A lot of it's based on like the foods that we eat. Like we can't eat what everybody else eat. And a lot of food that we eat have a lot of sodium in it. Rest in
Facts.
peace to who just passed away just now. What's his name again? The dude, what's his name? The one with the dreads. He just passed away. He was in a bathroom.
So
You
he
know what
just
I'm talking
passed.
about?
He said the dreads passed away in the bathroom.
Yeah, dang. What's his name again? He was a rapper, gangster. He's
Um, this was recent.
yeah. Coolio, my bad. Coolio. There we
Oh,
go.
word. Okay.
Coolio, rest in peace to Coolio. Just passed away. His son did say something about it. Um, it was dramatic because I guess he was inside of a bathroom of a friend's house when he ultimately
Mm.
had a heart attack, hypertension. We deal with this all the time. We got people passing out with just a Haitian singer on stage just passed out. So it's just Negro National Health Week. This was approved by people in the Congress at the time. It's something that really went down. It was Booker T. Washington. I know we heard of Booker T. Washington. He used to advocate real heavy for Black people. At the
Okay.
time we were dying. At the time we didn't live past like 35. That's what they say. It's crazy. It's crazy, this info. But like I said, you got to catch that. You got to read about it. But it's amazing. So I had the wife make a few shirts, and when I wear it, it's funny because people look at me like, and I'm just like, yo, all you gotta do is hit your phone, man. You think I messed this up? Grab your phone. There's a lot of information. Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of things about health, right? Where we we not really conscious eating. So you're vegan, right? You
Vegan, 10 plus years.
10 plus years.
Yeah.
That's a let's go. That's a it's a blessing, definitely. Yeah.
Mm,
See, the thing about like eating consciously, right?
mm,
So a lot of folks don't know is like when we get the heart attacks, when we get the, when something is going on in your body, it's because of what, majority of the time is what you eat.
hmm And genetics. So that goes back to the natural Negro Health Week. A lot of things that we face is because in those times we ate a lot of salty food because it was just
Mm,
that's how we flavored it. So it was a lot of like pig feet. It was like the stuff that they didn't want to eat, like the intestines inside of chickens, stuff like that. So we had to season it. And of course, if you put more sodium, it gets better. So genetically, we have things that's designed inside of us genetically, just that's in us and have the capability of popping up if we eat a certain way. But we don't eat. A lot of people don't eat to their genetics. They just, they blood type and stuff like that. They just go out there and they eat like everybody else eats. Like
absolutely.
for instance, Caucasian people could eat more sodium naturally than us.
Mm,
We could consume more meat, and so they have more high levels of cholesterol, and this is a fact. And we have more high levels of accelerated heartbeats, and sodium and caffeine works different on us than it works for them.
okay.
So yeah, we just gotta kind of eat and pay attention to those factors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna drop a gem. I'm gonna drop a gem on them. So during enslavement times,
Mhm.
enslave, of course, people, what they had to eat when they was enslaved was pig feet, chitlins, so all the
Soul food.
pork
Yeah,
and pigs.
mainly
So it
what we
was
call soul food now.
yes. So what they ate was pork. Yeah, anything that was pork, they ate it.
Like,
Wow.
like the poor boy sandwiches. If you ever go to New Orleans,
Yes, like the
yeah,
pork sandwiches, like
yeah.
chitlins, pig feet, or all of that. Anything that
Gumbo soup and stuff like
yes,
that.
anything that is pork, they ate it,
Or
which is
anything
dangerous
that they, anything that they didn't want, anything because it was like scraps. So
because it
we,
was forced. It
well,
was
we was like the
forced.
ancestor. Yeah, but we basically was like the ancestors, right? We was basically like the slaves. Our ancestors was the slaves,
Mm-hmm.
and so as they was working, that's what they
Absolutely.
will have the scraps of the food
Yes.
to eat.
Yes. While, of course, the Caucasians, what they call the slave master, would get like, the vegetables and all of that, stuff.
Yeah, and it was more than Caucasian. Caucasians too. It was it was black slave masters too. You know what I'm saying? It was it was
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it gets deep. You know what I'm saying? It gets deep. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
It gets deep. They were selling bloodlines at the time. You know, the slave
Mm,
bloodline. They work hard. You know what I'm saying? So they was migrating and selling different. So they had to be honest with you, a lot of the black slave owners or the ones who used to be on the market selling them used to know,
mm.
what bloodline would work hard and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yep, yep,
Wow.
yeah,
What?
yeah. I read this book called Slavery by Another Name, and it dropped jewels on that. It talks about that. But yeah, there were black slave masters too. There was, people just think that it was just white people. No, it wasn't
You
just.
talking about when during the times where it's like like when they was in Africa, or you talking about in America?
So just during the times anywhere, because if you come in, you got to understand it was like a business. So this is going to drive us right into
Absolutely.
what we're going to talk about right now, right? So
Yes.
this was like a market. It's kind of like a market, right? And so what they were doing, like slaves were created to migrate the business. So they
Absolutely.
had people who pick tobacco and pick wheat and pick all these different things because they're part of commodities, and it still goes on to today. The hay picking and stuff like that, but it's not looked at as slavery in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those different things that those commodities that were picked, so they would so whether it was in Africa, right? If they were scouting in Africa, you had people saying, hey, well, I got these good Africans over here. So it wasn't just only white people, it was black people. That's how some people got like slave masters' names. they inherit. Some of them got property. I forgot exactly what they call it, but oh yeah, it was called free slave.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets pretty deep. Like, and so if you get into like slavery and you have an open mind to it and not kind of, too too aggressive in your decisions, saying blacks and white people did this, you'll kind of understand it more. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of draws us into where we at today when it talks about because that's what brought me back to like investing and stuff like that. Because like from slavery, I read this book, and in the book, in this book called Power versus Force, but
Gotcha.
in the book, it talked about if you want to solve a problem, the problem
Mm-hmm.
with solving problems is you have to keep going back and going back. And most black people, we start at slavery, but we don't go back before
But we
slavery.
don't exactly. We
And
have to
so
go
it was
before
worse.
that.
Yeah, and there was,
Yes.
yeah, and there was
Yeah.
worse conditions. And yeah,
Oh,
slavery
that's
goes.
a fact.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
fact.
Well,
That's a fact. What Aquarius Queen is saying. That's a fact.
slavery goes back. I mean, China don't got beef with us just to have beef with America. I mean, slavery goes back in China a long time. It still goes on. I mean, it's just not considered that now, but most of the stuff that we get is imported from China.
Mm.
That's why China is becoming a superpower in terms of economics, import exports, GDP, gross dynamic products, and stuff like that, moving in and out. But slavery been
Yeah.
around for a long time. That's why they go to school all year long. There's a reason why they do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, I see about the eye. So now you dropping on them. Now you dropping on them. So you
Mhm.
said, hold on. So now you said that's the time of school. Explain that more.
No, I'm just saying nowadays they go to school all year long. They don't got no summer breaks. We have a
Mm.
summer break. We institutionalized. We was designed.
Yes.
Yeah, we're designed. We're designed to have a summer break, right? Kids don't
Yes.
even, you know what I'm saying? And parents, it's crazy because we're so institutionalized. Parents don't even want their kids home because it costs more to feed them. So they would rather have them go to a school that feeds them. You understand what I'm saying? They got
Mm.
food programs in place. It's just crazy. Everything's just moving so consistent and programmed. Like we're so programmed and we're so involved in a program. That's why we say 9 to 5. You already know what I mean. You understand what I'm saying? 12 to 6. You already know what I'm saying. You're going to work from 12 to 6. You're going to work from 9 to 5. Now, 5
Mhm.
is supposed to mean anything. That can mean anything, various things. But
Yes.
we're so moving in the program and still in ritual with that. That is crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely and that goes with what we about to talk about.
Yes, yes, it goes
Like
directly into what we do. So in the hold on a second. So into
uh-huh.
let me see something.
So
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yo, so into me going back and opening my eyes and trying to see what happened before slavery, because a lot of things stop there. A lot of our pain starts there and it stops there. So if anybody touched that topic, anybody talks about that topic, whether nobody is open to seeing anything objective to it. You understand what I'm saying? And it that's so I had to research, okay, what was happening to us before then. So there was worse things that was happening before then. We were just killed on sight in
Of
most cases.
course.
And
Yeah, killed on sight. You talking about killed on sight? If
yeah,
you look at the picture, if you look at the back in the day pictures now, back in when our ancestors was enslaved, like they would take pictures of our is being hung like this is a like they're celebrating.
yeah,
How
yeah, oh
cool
yeah,
is
yeah.
that?
You'll see tons of that, and and
Of,
and
exactly.
yeah. So you'll see tons of that. It was learning how to integrate us as human beings. It was learning how to take us, because at some point after our ancestors and we start to find a space in here, right, in America, it was like, for the Caucasian people, it was more like, how do we accept these people? And once
Absolutely.
again, you don't know the history on us, you don't know where we come from. It's kind of like that video where you have on your page where you crossing and though we laugh at that, right? And it's humor, right? Though we crossing you crossing the dude every day at work, right? And then you seeing them, and then eventually you get cool with the guy, right? Is the reason why we doing it is that because even us as black people, when we meet other black people, we don't know how to take of it. You understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Absolutely.
because a lot of us think it's necessary to understand our history to progress to where we are now, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of us fail to learn some of the history or where we stand in this country
Yes.
right now to move forward. It's crazy, man. It's
It's
just it's,
crazy.
it's yep. It's just
That's
yeah.
yeah.
But
So responding. Yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Hmm? Go ahead.
So responding to his queen, some kids only get food at school. COVID actually changed things to get kids in low income families fed. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a
well,
fact.
going into pouring the president with that infamous picture where you see Ronald Reagan holding up the cheese. You ever seen that infamous picture?
Oh man.
You've
Uh
seen that
huh.
picture, right?
Uh
So
huh.
the welfare picture. Those programs started then. It's just the pouring the presidents. What they implemented for war on poverty. You know,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
war on poverty set these programs in place. All of these programs, these low income food programs, all these things were put into place for a reason. It was war on poverty, and poverty was. If you ever watch the video, it's kind of eerie, man. If you ever watch, it's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's when LBJ does his speech on
Yeah.
with on war on poverty. And if you look in the crowd, you won't see one black person in there in the whole crowd, and everybody's
That's,
just clapping, and there's thousands of people in there. And what happens there is that this book that I read, Porn the Presidents, they structure every program that they put in place
mm-hmm.
to conduct war on poverty. You know what I'm saying? And war on
Yeah.
poverty ultimately means in layman terms is war on us because we're part of poverty, right? We're in these
Mm-hmm.
conditions. You
Yep.
go outside, there's a liquor store. We go outside, there's a jewelry store. You got, you
Absolutely.
got you got crack cocaine and drugs in
Yes.
these areas, right? You
Yes.
got you got illegal weapons in these areas. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have legal weapons in this area. You got illegal weapons in this area, right? And it's illegal
Absolutely.
to possess a weapon in this area legally. You understand what I'm saying? So it's
Absolutely.
it's it's all played, and so in these poverty environments, what it took me years to understand, right? No matter how nice someone is, poverty is a disease, right? And it could, and a human being has a lot of emotions, right? And so they pretty much have less control over things that they don't know, and most of the
Mm-hmm.
time they don't know what their enemy is. Think about it, how the projects is set up. You think about it, how project building is set up, man. Think about it. I mean, it's normalized for us to come outside and be like, this dude ain't grilling me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your
That's
North
so
Face
fact.
on. You got your North Face on, and you just, as soon as you exit the building, you like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I mean? You hit the staircase, it is on. You feel me? And it's just,
Absolutely.
but these are environments that they had us in. They constructed these rules, these institutions, these bank
Yep.
institutions, these school institutions, these prison institutions, these medical institutions. Everything's institutionalized. There's a way of doing things in the program. You know what I'm saying?
So does that go back? Does that go back to systematic of what you're saying?
And
Eh,
can you break that down for me?
so that goes back. What's going on, Nicole Jean? What's going on? Does that go back to like when you talk about systems? right? Now we talking about systems, right? Um, like when you talk about it was designed, right? So if you look at, let's look at as a capital a capital way, right? When you see poverty around the neighborhood, right? The poor community. You said just like what you said. You see a liquor store. You see a poor,
A pawn
foods.
shop, yeah. Or
Exactly. So
bad
you see
quality
all that,
food,
right?
yeah, bad
Yeah.
quality.
So you see poor grocery stores and everything else. Well, when you see a grocery store, it's most of the time it has the high fructose corn syrup and all that, right? Now, if I go to a lavish community
Mm-hmm.
where they got the Whole Foods and they got the Trader Joe's and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I go there where
The vibrations is just different, even just
you feel what I'm saying?
instantly you feel instantly. If you
Exactly.
go to 42nd Street right now, right? If you get on the train, you instantly, as soon as you get out, the vibrations is different. You know what I mean? The
Exactly.
community is different. People are more happier because there's an underlying universe that evolves the environment too, right? So you have negatives and you have lows. So you have energies that's high and energies that's low. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
yes, it's also different. Think about it. Y'all was just thinking about this the other day, bro. When I was growing up, it's okay. Let me tell you something, man. All right, if you post something, right? Most people say people post things for attention, right? You have this thing, right, in this community right now, right? And it's mainly in our community. It's like people always downplaying when people are posting things, right? And they like, well, they looking for attention and they looking for likes, right? In the poverty community, right? How many times, right? Brother to brother, right? And someone had hit you up and said, "Hey, yo, Cash, man, I like that you did. I like that you did that." And at your age right now, right? Me calling you up and saying, that was hot. That instantly changes you, right? It instantly gives you the energy of saying, man, because when I originally signed to Facebook, I was looking for attention. That's that's
Mm.
that's 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 exactly what I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And as I look at it now, right? Go if you see a young kid shoot a rock in the park, right? And he like 8 years old and he shoot the rock a few times, you like, man, you nice. He'll instantly turn around and smile, man. Things would change for me because you know what we lacked, what I lacked in the community. I never really had teachers tell me I was doing good. You know what I'm saying? They ain't spend no time on that. It was a packed class. If anything, they always told me, secretly, oh, you're not gonna amount to nothing. And you always hear that in rap lyrics, right? But this is what they did in the community. This was part of the cycle in the community, right? You have these teachers, mainly where I came from, you had these teachers who didn't even live in these communities. You feel what I'm
Mm.
saying? So they driving in from Long Island. They coming into Brooklyn, right? So the vibes is changing, the energy levels is changing. And they like, well, I'm just gonna come here and help you guys. You understand what I'm saying? And if there was any resistance, or if you act a certain way that didn't reflect the way their parents act, or if you wasn't quiet, you was considered a class clown, right? Then you was, you was never like what a teacher's supposed to do at that time, especially when you were adolescent and you growing up and you feeble. Say, man, you know what, Clyde, you can make it. And I can remember to this day, like my math teacher, I can remember my math teacher telling me, I never forget. And she just said, small thing, bro. She was like, yo, if you close that door, it's closed. And if you don't turn that knob, it's not open. And I'm like, yo, it's funny because when I get in situations today, I still remember that one thing that she told me. And that's not even big. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's not even a big deal to tell someone. But like, these environments, we're trained to respond, we're trained to act a certain way, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Going back to the school food thing, right?
Okay.
I seen this girl recently, and you might see it online. They was complaining about the food the school was serving the kids. You definitely have seen it or came across it, because it was a point where there was this picture went viral where it was like, look what this food they feed in the school. No, look what you feeding your child at home. Let's talk about that. Why you mad at the school? Like, you already, like, let's face it. When I went to school, we used to take burgers and hide behind a staircase and eat them. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want nobody to see us eating these burgers. You feel what I'm saying? It was like, you know, we didn't want to eat school. Like, somebody brought school lunch. That was a big thing. That was like almost driving a Mercedes back then when I was young. You understand what I'm saying? This dude got a turkey and cheese sandwich with salt, pepper, and vinegar on it. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm over here subjected to eating this school food if I got a ticket. You know what I'm saying? If I don't got a ticket, I don't even eat this food. So it's just like the environment was made more so. And this is going to feed us into what we're saying, right? Because we're 25 minutes in, right? But the environment was made for us today to still focus on survival. Because it's programmed in our mind. They did a great job. They did an amazing job. I programmed my mind is we don't want to take things that we consider risk anymore, right? And we're just happy with just getting by, right? My check comes in, I pay my bills with my check, I'm doing good. You understand what I'm saying? You can't say nothing about me. You know, I get a new Altima. Everybody in the hood got they don't even have a car, they're taking the bus, right? So I'm doing good considerably to the environment that I live in. And so that's just where we at. So we don't take leaps to find a lot of stuff because we just struggle with just surviving, you know.
Yep.
And then we're put in place where we have what I call consumer debt, which is credit cards, right? Credit cards is essentially what you get to buy something if you don't have the money for something, right? But then we start to live on it. You know, we start to take it, you know, whether it's $5,000, $5,000 is not a lot of money. And then we start, you know, we pay the minimum balance and then we live off of this, right? And these people are just cycling this inside their environment. But like mainly most people that I meet that come from the community where I come from, they're happy with just surviving. You know what I'm saying? They're not.
Gotcha. We 27 minutes in. So Aquarius Queen comments, does us knowing our history hurt or harm us? This type of trauma causes mental, physical, and spiritual harm. Not everybody is able to know the history and break the generational curses and do better. Yo, this is ultimate facts. If we keep looking back into our history, are we being re-traumatized, re-institutionalized, or re-triggered?
If we're so looking back into our history, there's two things, right? So you have a problem and you have a solution.
Absolutely.
Most people constantly talk about the problem and they don't want to talk about the solution.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's just the issue that we're having right now. You know, so it's okay. Because I think it's your pain that it's my pain that drives me where I'm at today. That's what pushes me forward, right? I don't have there's no any relaxations for me, right? I don't drink, I don't smoke any marijuana, right? So I don't have any like recourse to say, you know, it's gonna be all right? So I'm always pushing harder and harder and harder. But I think just looking at the problem and not trying to see resolve or see anything else is where things cross, right? As human beings, because we have something that really tears us up, and is emotions. It takes away from us moving forward in life. Like we really have to get past being emotional to things that don't really matter. You understand? Yeah, we got it. So things will re-traumatize you, and once you start to learn what makes you upset, I don't think it's even necessary for you to keep falling in line with that problem instead of finding the solution or finding the reason. Human beings are accountable for everything that they do. Everybody's going to pay for what they do. Nobody's going to get away for it because we live in a universe. We got things that's operating on a higher level than humans. It's very higher level than humans. I'm projected to meet great people based on what I do, right? It's not, a homeless man. If you see a homeless man out there on the street, 99% of the time, you already know how he operates, right? Who he's going to meet. He might get a good bottle of wine, and probably if he does drugs, he might get free drugs, right? Because that's his trajectory based on his frequencies that he's involved with in the universe. And so you should have low expectations from the humans, because humans is so difficult to understand, and they have something that is that emotions, right? Nervous systems and all of these things are designed from when they're young as a child, right? And we don't know. Like, you can line up 100 people and smack 100 people the same way, and all 100 people are gonna react different to that smack.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And so as humans, and that's in stress mode, right? So as humans, we don't know, right? Everything that you've been taught, everything that you've been told, everything that you see, everything that you believe influences your decision today, right? And so that, that's so knowing that, can you just walk up to a random person? Like, I'll be with my wife sometimes, right? And she's in the car, right? And this happened recently. Guy was behind us beeping his horn, right? Beep, 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 beep. We at the light. She's having this whole conversation. I'm not hearing her. I got the hammer on me, right? So I'm like, listen, this dude's beeping. I look through the mirror. I see him. I'm like, just drive, right? He pulls around. He goes to the next point, right?
Okay.
She's still trying to have a conversation with me. My conversation is dead. This man, he's up there beeping at somebody right now, right? That you gotta understand what you're involved in, what you're not involved with. That's not your problem. Now, had he stopped, then I would have to exit the car, and then interact differently. But no, he continued to do what he was going to do, and he was moving dangerously, right? I don't know what situation he has, right? He must have some urgent, I don't know. Because I know if I have an urgent situation, I might move sort of like him. So the humans have so much dynamics to them, right? That if you have low expectations for a human being, it lets you progress better, right? Because then now you pay attention to the universe and the environment, then you can operate like that, right? Like if I go to the Bronx right now, randomly, right? I go to the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
I know if I drop my phone, is a 98% chance I'm not getting my phone back. Right?
Depending what part you in. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But the reason why I know this is because the environment that I'm in. So I'm just saying the Bronx in general, right? I'm the urban side, right? If I drop my phone and drop $500, right? I'm not saying I won't get it back, but there's a strong probability that I won't get it back. You understand what I'm saying? Based on the environment that I'm in. So now I'm not paying attention to whether Rashawn is there or Qualib is there. I'm not paying attention. I went to go see him. I dropped the money and he was around me, right? So then now I'm like, yo, Raquan, like, I know you took my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you stole my money. Like, I dropped my phone. You understand what I'm saying? And then me and him's conflicted, right? And there's automatic beef, but that beef was already there. It didn't matter who it was. It's subjected to the environment. It's subjected to the environment that I'm in mainly.
This is real. This is so
and
real.
So what I have is a low expectations for humans. So me knowing my expectations for human, I dropped that 5 in the Bronx, right? And I dropped that phone. I'm like, damn, I should have been more on point. I'm not going to even confront, Rasan or whoever, right? Because I don't have an expectation for him.
Yeah,
he's only moving accordingly to the environment that he's in. He don't mean no harm. You know what I'm saying? He wish it wasn't you. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude who got killed in Roscoe's, like, It could have been anybody. You understand what I'm saying? Like
You talking
PNB,
about? Okay, yeah,
yeah,
PNB, yeah.
PNB could have been anybody. It could have been
Mhm.
anybody, subjected to anybody, right? It was that place you don't go around with your jury on, right?
Mhm.
And move around as if you could do that, right? And that could just happen to anybody. So when you see the situation happen, you're like, damn, was a woman chasing them? Was it a text message that happened? But in
Yeah.
reality, if you have low expectations in humans, right? If you look at the interview he had with academics, the universe was clearly sending him signs. You're in a bad environment. There's people following you. Your girlfriend is not paying attention to it, right? She's leading you into these situations. Now, check this out. She
Mhm.
confirmed it. She came back later and said, he saved my life. Of course, he saved your life. You understand what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
didn't take you to realize that the universe was having conversations till he was no longer involved, right? So his physical was removed, and his spirit was removed from the situation. His energy still exists, right? And it was what was really happening around her that really added up and said, you know what? P&B saved my life. But
Mm.
if you look at the interviews, there were situations that the universe was saying, hey, we need you to remove yourself from this environment for a while until we figure things out. And so so my expectations in humans, like I don't even like it's crazy. Like I have family situation going on recently.
Yeah.
Some bad things happen, right? And so like I try to talk to these people like via message, and I don't have no expectations for none of them. So when these things happen, I'm like, no, it's not. It's based on the environment. If I go to Harlem right now, chain hop out of Bentley, I'm already knowing what I might be faced with. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's the environment that I'm in. If I'm
Yo.
in Arizona, Scottsdale, I hop out of Bentley with my chains on. I already know how that environment's gonna react, right? And it's
You
mainly
said that. Yup. You said that. Yup.
yeah. So it's mainly like the universe and stuff like that. So with me, I try to deal more. I try to eliminate the human, the human aspect of it, and I try to love everybody. And I base everybody's decision is based on all these molecules and things that was happening way ahead of time. So
Yeah.
man, you
Oh,
know,
let's go.
you
Let's
know,
go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we 37 minutes in. Let's drop jewels on them. Let's drop some jewels on them.
let's talk.
Okay. So, recently I'm listening and I'm learning about the S&P 500.
Mm,
38 so let's drop jewels on them. So, I've heard that if you invest, it could be $100, it could be 200, it could be $250. If you invest whatever type of money a month into the S&P 500, your money can go up about like 10, 20 years, 30 years. Your money can go up to like 100,000s to millions.
okay, yeah. So what you're seeing, right, is okay. So let's start from the beginning, right? If yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that. We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about that on
definitely.
Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Matter
yeah,
of
yeah.
fact,
Let's
when he
yeah.
comes out here, we're gonna talk about that.
Scottsdale just full of young kids with money. They don't even wear chains. These MFs in $400 hoodies. They wild with
With
their
their money.
money.
Yeah.
Of
Oh, yeah, yeah.
course, of
Scottsdale, wow.
course.
So check this out. So the S&P is Standard and Poor, right? And it's an index. We actually have that. If you ever rode the train for many years, Bowling Green. Like it's funny because I go around here and I'm fascinated like a little kid when I go there. So you go to Bowling Green, you see the bull, right? The bull at
Yes.
Bowling Green. So you got the Bulls and the Bears, right? The Bears have fair and the Bulls is going up. It's the green, and then the Bears is the one that's supposed to scare you, right? So that's the theory of the market.
Yeah.
So what the S&P is, what is Standard and Poor 500 is an index.
Okay.
And it's an index. The index is basically going back to, remember we was talking about earlier about commodities and stuff like that.
Yes.
They have a market where they still trade those things, right? But then now the way America is structured, it's corporations and businesses, right? So you have the S&P 500. So corporation and businesses allow us, the people, the institution, to be owners, to take ownership in companies, right? So you have like Disney, you have Facebook, you have all these various different companies, right?
Yeah.
McDonald's, and now you can purchase ownership based on the share price and based on how many shares they are, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And so what the S&P 500 was designed to do in like 1929 is they compiled the top 500 companies in America.
Mhm.
So we know some of them because we interact with them. It's Apple, it's Google, it's Facebook, it's McDonald's, right? And so there's 500 companies, and so you have to fit a criteria to be with inside of this index, right? So it's the S&P 500. Now, what they do with this, right? They have the Dow Jones, which is the 2,500 company. I mean the 25 best companies, which is the Dow Jones, and then they have the Russell 2000, right? So these are like the main indexes, and they have the Russell 2000, which is like the 2,000 companies. And they could be fresh, and they could be mainly new companies and stuff like that. So there's more volatility in the Russell 2000, right?
Okay.
So most people rate America by the S&P 500. This is why you see it on the news.
Mhm.
They're not promoting. To most people who see it, they think they're promoting just stocks. The way that America operates is through ownership. Do you buying and me buying and markets and stuff like that. So the S&P, like I said, is the top 500 companies inside of there, right? And that's mainly the baseline to America. So when you cut on the news, you'll hear people talk about it. So like when you go to Bowling Green and you just forget about the humans, you see this conversation all comes together, right? I don't care if you smoke marijuana. I don't care if you drink. I want you to take a walk right near the water and really get in touch with the feeling that you feel when you're down there. It's real different. It's a lot of money moving through there. There's a lot of equities, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what you talking about right now is the S&P from 1929 to currently today, right?
Yes.
Has gained about 6%, 6 to 9% a year. And so what happens is every year that gains, it's another 6%, right? And then the money's added again, it's another 10%, right? That's called compounding, right? So it's the
Compound
slow,
interest.
yes, compound
Okay.
interest. So if you have $1,000, right, and then now you get 10% on $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Which is $100, right? Am I correct? It's 10%. So then now you got $1,100. So the next time you get another 10%, it will be based on $1,100. So it compounds. So what you're talking about, and I've seen the videos, is that they're based off of the past. They're showing you what money you will have if you invested that money inside the S&P 500,
Mhm.
right? And what that money will grow to today, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of important things that I'm gonna talk about in the next 10 minutes concerning that. And I wish my
Let's
guy
go.
was here today to talk about it too, but he's definitely, you're gonna make waves with him. He's an awesome dude, right?
Let's
And
go.
so with
Send him
the,
the clip if he's available too. Let's go.
I got him. So what the S&P does, right? Essentially, okay, why is this important? Now, because that's the next question you have to ask yourself. Well, I'm already 40, 50, right? I'm already 60, 70, right? I'm not projected to live according to what we talked about earlier, right? The
Yep.
things that we face, I'm not projected to live over a certain term, right? Another 25 years, right? So
Yes.
why would this be important for me at 25, right? To save till I'm 55, right? When I could be spending and enjoying and living my life, right? What this is ultimately going to do for you is going to change the course of action that was planned for you, right? So there's going to be by you putting your money into this index fund, and we're going to talk about how that's structured, right?
Let's
Is
go.
going to be able to move when you're no longer here. And that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because going back to the human aspects, human beings, we just, we're here, we're gonna move, and the universe is gonna still operate, right? We're gonna need to learn how to operate when our bodies no longer exist in here, right? We got to be happy with the results that we left. I know my mother's very proud with the results that she left, right? She left 7 kids here, and we all moving, differently, right? And so,
Ooh, 7. God
yeah,
bless.
and so
Woo.
now you that's why when you read books for money, you always flip through and you chasing, you looking like, okay, these dudes ain't talking about no money. It's garbage. Rich dad, poor dad, garbage, right? So so what you learn over time is they're not trying to give you money in these books. They're trying to create human capital. They're trying to make you see the value within the human. The same way that we interact, right? Like, I need you in a podcast. We need to talk to each other. It's the value of the capital is now within the human, right? And then that's how we possess what we're going to get. And so the S&P, going back to what you were saying, and I want you to ask more questions because I don't want to talk too much, because I need the basic questions in terms of, I want you to be subjective to it, disrespectful to it. I want you to really dig into, what you want to know and how to get started and why you should get started. I want you to ask any questions, concerning it, tax wise, just anything in terms of it. And we could talk about it.
Let's go. Be ready. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go. Okay. Right now, the S&P, if you Google S&P 500, right now is 3,752 and 75 cents right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, so yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm glad that you're looking at that. Right. So if you Google that right now, you're gonna see mainly, but those are considered points. Okay. That's what that is. It's not really considered cents, it's considered points. Okay. So roughly in 20, okay, and I'm gonna talk great on this because you're gonna lead up to some questions. There's gonna be some questions you're gonna ask about it, right? So the S&P in like September 1st. Let me see if I got a picture of it here, because let me see.
Okay. It's so I'm so while Clyde is gonna drop jewels about the S&P 500, we already know about a brief history of the S&P 500. So now we're about to get on to
The
now
numbers.
how can we invest in it? And of course I gotta play God's advocate about, okay, is it safe to invest in it if it goes up about like $5,000 if we put in $50 a month, all of that. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get into all that. Yes, we're gonna get into all that. Yeah. So while
Okay, yeah, okay, I found it.
let's
So
go.
in September 11th, right? 2011, it was marked at 1476. Okay.
Let me know to share my screen
Yeah. So yeah, share your screen.
right now.
Yeah, I'm ready. Share your screen because people need to see
Oh man.
people need to see how this action go. You know what I'm saying? I wish I knew how to share my screen. I'll share my screen.
Hold on. Hold
I need a
on. All
course.
right.
I need a
Hold on.
course in this. So let's go to Google real quick.
All right. So
Okay.
this is it. This is Google Finance, right?
Okay.
Unless you want me to go to Yahoo Finance.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that. No. We stay in
Okay.
Google base. So we're gonna go to Max, right? And so, okay, guys. Okay, so what you're looking at right now, right? He went into Google, right? Google has his own department that most people don't search in it. If you type MCD, which is McDonald's, right? If you type it inside of the search bar, it's going to transfer you over to Google Finance, right? And then when you go over to Google Finance, you can tap the index. So you'll see right there where on his screen it says home, it says index, and it's S&P 500. Now, once again, if you fast forward to this part, we're talking about the Standard & Poor 500, S&P 500, which carries the 500 top companies in America. You want the whole description? You can read it in the side panel in the about, right? It'll tell you exactly the about range, right?
All right here.
Yeah, all right there. So I love Google. Finance, right? I and that's a whole nother series we're gonna have on that, right? So if you hit the hit yes, so you hit the max. Great. So if you move your hand over, just roughly over, move no, come down. Yeah. If you move it roughly over to 2011, it's not going to be accurate.
2011.
Yeah. Right? So no, stop 2011. Yeah, right there. Just leave it, right? So 2011 it was 1476, right? And so what you're seeing on there is you can count it as dollars if you want to, right? But those are points. That's points, right? When you see a stock go up, mainly it goes up in points, okay? Even though we look at it as dollar, it's more to look at it in points because this is the reason why they don't really look at it in dollars. Okay, let's say for instance, right? You have an equity that is at 500 points, okay? Let's say you put 10,000 in it, right? If it goes up to 1,000 points, then you've seen 100% on your initial investment. Okay. So, it's better to have conversations in the points than to have dollars because people, somebody may have different dollars in there. And so it makes the conversation more universal. But this particularly is actually points. So in 2011, I want to talk about this part, right? This is crazy to me, right? So 2011, it was 14, about 13, roughly 1,400%, right?
Okay.
It took 4 years later before it went 900 points. So if you go up to 2014,
January 31st,
yeah.
2014.
See, so look at that. 4 years, right? No, 2015. Let's boost it up. I think.
Okay, all right, 15.
Yeah, 15.
Boom.
Okay, right
March 27, 2015.
So mind you, right? March 22nd, 2015, right? This was in 2011. So we have 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 4 years, right? In 4 years, right? It took the S&P to go up, 700 points, right? That's basically what that is. That's about roughly 600 to 700 points, okay? That's considered great. That's considered amazing, okay? Now, when you look at the trajectory from the course of 1990 to where we at now, it just looks like it's shooting straight up. Now, go to 1 year. Go to 1 year real quick.
1 year?
Yeah.
All right, 2016, right?
No. Go up to where the 1 year. See how you got it on max right now?
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
We think we're in 2016, bro. We getting money. Yeah. Check that out. So now we're looking at 1 year, and this is what everybody's talking about. The market is disgusting and it's bad. Let's go to 5 years real quick, right? So now we see everything going down, right? Okay, so let's go to 5 years. Let's talk about 2000 real quick. I want to have this conversation. I want to have this conversation right now. Let's go down to when COVID-19 came.
All right, this is okay. Now,
wait, hold on.
When COVID-19 came, it dropped.
Wait, hold on. Go back. Let's take them a little back real quick. Go back to when everybody was hanging out and chilling. A little bit back.
This is February.
Yeah, but let's go a little bit back when people wasn't even
back.
people started getting a little scared about that, right? So we was at 3,260 65, right? During this time. Okay. This was COVID-19. I don't think I got to give you any history on that. I think we got our lessons from that. Very dramatic, and now we still facing these consequences, right? So around March, during this time, the market reflected some sentiment to what was happening. Okay, so it started to spiral down. So go down real quick to that little indent, real quick.
Okay, so now this is when COVID-19 came.
Okay. Yes, March 20th. So then now we're based at 2,304. Now, mind you, remember the conversation that we had. Remember, we was at in 2014. Okay, that's so minus so now we're in what? That was 2020 was COVID?
Yeah.
And
So
that was 2020. So 2014 was 6 years ago, right? So 6 years ago, we was only at this point, at this time, we was only 300 points, not even 200 points higher, right? With the than we was in the market, right? From 6 years ago. So we dropped drastically. So this was highlighted, right? People started getting in the market, right? People that were never in the market before started getting into the S&P. Now they necessarily, now let me explain this. Now, people are not actually buying the S&P, but they're buying the equities, which what is inside of the S&P that is causing the S&P to increase more, right? So if they're buying the top 20 companies, or they buying, the Apple, the Teslas, and the stuff like this, now the S&P is starting to increase based off of that, right? And so during this time, hold on.
Okay, so during the time, so you can even see the S&P 500 is up.
Yeah. And so everybody started buying equities around this time. So go back to 2021. Go to the top of 2021. Go right there. Perfect. So look at 2021. In February 2021, we're up. Okay, what is that? That's let me see. Let me do the math.
That's 3,886.
Okay, hold on. Let me do the math because I use a calculator for everything.
Let's go. So when you do a calculator for everything.
So hold on.
Okay.
So check this out.
We got
gonna minus.
Uh-huh.
So calculate. I'm putting in 3,886, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I'm taking away the 2,300, right? Roughly where we was at 2020.
Gotcha.
So go back down to 2020.
Okay, which is
right there. Okay, right. So I'm taking away 2,304. That's a 1,500%. Now pay attention here, because I'm taking you somewhere real quick. That's 1,500 points from a pandemic. Why are we even up 1,500 points? This is insane, right? So check this out, right? This is insane, right? So then now go a little bit up. Go up to 2022.
2022? All right.
Okay. Hold on. Stop. No, stop at the top of 2022.
Top. That was in...
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
so then there, no, perfect. No, it doesn't matter. It's right there. So now from that point let's, because remember we was at 36. So let's add another 800 points, because now we have 4,677. Now, mind you, look at the history of the S&P. It's never jumped that high before. It took 4 years. It took 4 years to go up 900 points. Okay.
Gotcha.
Are you here with me?
Gotcha. I hope everybody following this. I hope everybody is following this.
So now, if you now I have 1,582, right? Now if I add that 800, right? I'm just going to say roughly it moved another 800 points, okay, right?
Okay.
So 800. That now we up from the pandemic, we up 2,382 points. That's almost double from 2011 all the way to 2000 and about like 16, okay, roughly, right? If we're looking at it. So now we're hearing the S&P's down big. Are you convinced the S&P's down big this year based off the history? Just looking at that? No, right? Because if you look at the top of the hill, now if you get at today's number, if you go to today's number, we're still inflated because, to be honest, the S&P should have never been going high as it was at the time. So yeah, I just wanted to get that through. You know what I mean? So I don't listen to like market fed, because you'll have people saying, well, the market's dropping, the market's crashing. I want you to do a course on yourself based on what I just showed you and ask yourself, is the market really crashing? You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. And so then now let's get back in, because I wanted to show you the value of the S&P before we started to talk about how to invest in it and the trajectory, you know that part of it, that portion of it.
Smart, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Definitely. All right, so let me get off of this. Get off. So now that we got the value of it, right? So what is it that we're looking at? Numbers. Now you're talking about the we got the history. We got what Google Finance says about the S&P 500. We know how it jumped up. We know all of that, right? Now, how can we?
Yo, let me ask you something. He just hit me right now. Can you send him a link? Or I mean, is he able to come in?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. I got you. So how can we learn about the S&P? Because I'm gonna drop a little something too, right? If everyone goes to CNBC, right, and look at the news, those are them that is, if you're invested in the stock market right now, before the stock market opens at 9:30, you should know how the stock market is moving before it opens.
Yeah, pre-market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because what they're doing is they're moving a lot of equities before the market actually opens. So you have a pre-market. So then you'll see the sentiment of the market, whether it's going to be an up day or a down day.
Yes. So I mean, do you recommend CNBC as?
Oh, I love CNBC. That's the GOAT to me. CNBC is like the GOAT to me. I don't listen to the emotional part of it because they do they'll put the market's down and the market's up. But yes, ultimately I do. I love CNBC.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So now that we got clear, right?
Come on.
Let's talk about more of, you know what? Let's talk about the Dow. What is but I think that's probably another podcast itself if we talk about the Dow, because now we're talking about how to invest in the S&P 500.
So can you share your screen real quick, and then we go to CNBC, because that'll give them a little rough.
Okay, so I'm going to CNBC right now.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go to the website, and then after that, let me share my screen. Okay, so hold on. Give me a second. me a second. Let me share my screen. All right, there we go. You
Yeah.
see it?
So yeah, what he was talking about. So CNBC, you can hit it in Google, or you can do the HTTPS, which nobody does, right? And it'll come on your search engine. Now, what you see right now is you see it roughly on the top. That's the first thing they're going to talk about before any news, because that's the most important news. So what you're going to see on your left, you see under the peacock, under the peacock symbol, you're going to see US, and then US, the DJIA is the Dow Jones Index. And then the middle one is the S&P, and then the NASDAQ is the tech companies, the 100 top tech companies, and then the Russell 2K is the Russell 2000. And as you see right now, it's all green, and the one that you see in red is the volatility index meter, and that talks about the volatility for the day. So these different things right here, if you're interested in day trading and stuff like that, you can really focus more on that, on the specifics of each one, each daily. But the long term, you don't have to focus on daily activity. You focus on the broad activity, like I was showing you, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years, stuff like that. And wait, hold on, and I'm going to jump into before you unshare your screen. So hit Vanguard Trust Fund. Go back to
where you at?
Go back to the search engine, Google. We're going to use Google.
Okay.
Vanguard. No, and hit Trust Fund. Hit Trust Fund.
Trust Fund?
Yeah, Trust Fund. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to the account.
Yep, hit that. Yep.
All right. So I'm going to the website. Invest.
So Vanguard, I'm gonna talk to you about this a little bit. So Vanguard Trust Fund would basically once you solidify the trust, they can take over your assets in an event that you're no longer here, right? And they can distribute them accordingly to how you want to distribute to whatever family member you want to distribute to. And I'm going to speak on Vanguard in depth, right? So if you scroll down, keep scrolling down, it's going to give you all the information. What is a trust fund? Things you need to get started. Keep going down. The minimum investments, the expectations of the investment return, other investments. Keep going. And it tells you the steps you need to take in opening it, legally establishing the trust, which you should legally establish, complete the application online, right? Keep going down. And then, so it gives you all that information. Now, the reason I'm going to Vanguard, I'm going to give you some history on Vanguard. Okay, go. So how do you buy the S&P 500? You cannot buy the S&P 500 directly. You right? So you got to use brokers. And what brokers would do is they're going to emulate something that appears to be the S&P 500, follow the direction of the S&P 500. And so, they do the mechanics, weight it out accordingly. So if you go back and go to type in type in back in Google search. Okay, VFIAX. Okay,
AX?
see that? Yeah, right there. Yep, yep, hit that. Okay, go down. Okay, you're gonna go right here, Emerald Shares. Okay, hit that. Okay, so boom, I just put you on. This is primo game, right? I just put you on ASAP, right? This is free game. Okay, this right here is Vanguard 500 Index Fund, Admiral Shares, right? The expense ratio is basically how much you're gonna have to use to expend to buy them. It's very low. It's the lowest on the market, right? 0.4%. If you click in there, it'll give you roughly what it is. Now the S&P, if you look on the right side, I'm talking about the right side just in case you guys ain't know. So if you look on the right side, you'll see domestic stocks in general. That's basically what I told you. That's the 500. It's the index funds tracking the 500. What you're gonna see is the return rate for the year, which is YTD year to date returns. It's negative 20%. This is why I want to have a conversation with you about the sentiment of the market right now. 20% is wonderful. It should not have been up 2,000 points, from its 2,000 point all time high. So it came from 2,000 point, 3,000 point, and then it just went bananas in 2 years. So to me, I think it should be pulled down a little more. I enjoy that, right? Okay. If you stroll down, you see the minimum investment. Now, years ago, you used to need $10,000. Hold on, you used to need $10,000 to open this account to buy the Admiral shares, right? Now you need 3,000. Now, also available, if you click into also available ETF, go under VIAX real quick, and you're gonna see ETF. No, right there. Click that. Now, just in case you were saying that was a lot of money, right? You can do the VOO, right? Which the VOO, you're not required to put up $3,000. You can start with $10. Okay. Now click your back button. So that's just almost a replica of the other one, but this is the Admiral shares. Now, if you go down, keep going down. If you go down, wait, hold on. If you go right there, wait, stop. If you go there, you see the overview, you see the performance and fees, you see the price, you see the portfolio composition, you see distributions, you see fund management, and you have fund literature, right? So it talks about the product. Keep going down. So it gives you the rating. The rating is basically the risk versus reward, right? It tells you the risk on it. So it's a higher risk because it's equities. So they say it's about a four risk. The highest is a 5 risk, right? So the higher the risk, the better the returns that you get, right?
Got it. So this is more like an investment.
So right now, what they're telling you right now is 300 per each share. So it kind of tracks the S&P in points, but it's hundreds instead of thousands. Okay. Now keep going down. Keep strolling down. Now this is the performance and fees. You can see. Okay, so hold on. Stop right there. No, pull back up. So right there, you see summary. You see quarterly. You see annual. You see cumulative. Right. If you hit cumulative, so wait, hold on. If you go down, scroll down a little bit. Okay, right now they're going to show you what's the benchmark. The benchmark is the actual S&P. The other one is the VFIAX, right? It tells you 9 months to the month, 3 months 4%. Year is down 23%. Okay, right now we're down 24%. Over the course of 1 year, we're 15%. 3 years 8%. 5 years 9%. And 10% in 11 years. Okay, since interception, which was 2000, is getting back 7%. So we're gonna see what that means cumulative. Now scroll back up. So over a 10-year span, now hit the last one. So you have quarterly, you have annual, you have cumulative. Cumulative is when it compounds. So we're gonna have this discussion again. If you've been in it for the first year, this is your first year, you're down 15%. So if you had $100, now you're down 15%. You have $85. Okay. If you've been in it 3 years, you up 26%. You see the difference? The guy who just came in this year, he's down, right? If you've been in here since 2020, you are still currently up. You understand what I'm saying? So check that out. Because based on what we read, and this is why this is important. This is why we started with the S&P first. Now, based on the information that we seen earlier, you would already know that we up because we came in 2020. The trajectory of the index shows shooting up. If we've been in it for 5 years, we up 55%. That means if we had $10,000, right? Now we have $15,000 in there. Now, if we've been in since 10 years, we up 201%. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yo.
So you see how it changes. So when you're looking day to day, it looks bad, right? When you're looking month to month, it looks bad. But if you're looking at it from me, so I've been there for wow, right? So when you're looking at it for me, I'm looking at it as a discount. So it's like me going to get Jordans on sale. I normally would pay 200 for Jordans, but now because the market's down, I'm only going to pay $100 for Jordans, right? So now, but I'm not even wearing the Jordans. So now I get to get when the market goes back up, I could sell the Jordans for 250. Okay.
Mm.
If you've been in since interception, which was 2000, you up 300%, right? And that's easy to add on your calculator. I'm gonna just do it for I'm gonna do it for purposes. Hold on. So
Let's
300.
go.
Okay. So if you had, so let's just say you had 3,000. Okay. 3,000 plus 300%. That so 3,000 plus 300%. That's a now $9,000 return. You have a total of 12,000. You understand?
Okay.
So that's how you have to look at it. So yeah. So keep going down. So that's performance and fees. So now we're gonna keep going down. We're gonna talk about the funds fees. How much are they gonna charge you? You gotta look into it. His name is John Bogle. We could talk about it. I could send you a link to the book, which we're gonna go straight to. We're gonna go to John Bogle's book after this, right? But we're just gonna finish this off real quick. So the purchase fee is none, redemption fee is none. They used to have this fee called, he exposed the whole industry and he died and left all his money in there. You used to have the 12B fee, which was a loading fee. There's no fee for that. Okay. Keep going down. If so now keep going, keep strolling. So now they telling you what they 42 week. Now remember we was talking about it before. The market was high, it was 442. Now it's back low, 52 low is $330. And so that's $112 difference from today. So they doing all the calculations for you. If you look at it, what it is today, it's only $14 up from its all-time low, which was 10/12/2022. Okay. Keep going down. It gives you roughly what we've seen before inside. If you hit the 10-year, click the 10-year mark real quick. And so it shows you, the 10-year mark, on this chart, what it was based on, kind of what we was talking about before. Keep going down. Keep going down. We're going to stroll through this. Okay, I'm not trying to put nobody to sleep. Okay, this is more information. Keep going down. Keep going down. Keep strolling. It's more information, right? It tells you, right? Now it tells you the different sectors that you have inside of it, right? It tells you the different sectors. Right, wait, no, stroll back up. No,
stroll back up.
Yeah, right there. So if you highlight each one, community services, highlight it real quick with the mouse. You see how he's going like that? No, just keep doing what you're doing. You see how he's going like that? It's going through how much, what is the weight in all of it? How much healthcare? So they have healthcare stock, industry stocks, information technology. This is all inside S&P. Real estate stocks. Okay, you own real estate when you purchase the S&P, right? So you have all these different criteria once you purchase. You automatically a business owner and you own a lot of stuff. Now go down. Keep going down. Right here, it tells you exactly if you want to print out of all, go up a little bit. Go up a little bit. So if you want to print out of all the holdings, it tells you exactly all the holdings, like Apple, Microsoft. This is all the weight. The highest is Apple, second Microsoft, next is Amazon. So you could buy Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple and Tesla and Google all inside this fund right here. You can own all of this, right? Keep strolling down.
Let's go. Let's go.
Distributions, realized, unrealized gains. We don't need to talk about that. Realized means that you still have it. That you sold it, right? Funds, capital gain, losses can be reflected implications of holding a portion. And taxable accounts is true both realized and unrealized gains and taxes and losses. Realized gains is if like you sold it, right? And versus you unselling it. But we're not going to get into that real quick, right? Because I don't want you to sell anything. Keep going down. Okay. Yeah, and so another thing too. So now since you own it, right? There's dividends that you get for each share. So like dividends is basically, we talked about this on the last podcast, right? Did we talk about dividends? The dividends, if you want to hear more about it, go to the last podcast because we go intensive about it. But it basically is for ownership. They pay you for each share you have. So if you had 10 shares in there, yeah. So if like you had certain amount of shares, they give you quarterly, for each share. So in this particular one, they give you for each share you own, they give you about $2 for each one you own.
So they
Right?
pay you in dividends too?
Yeah. It's
Go.
okay, keep going down. Keep going down.
Let's
No,
go.
so fund management, keep going down. It tells you about who's managing the funds. Go down. So you got Donald B. Butler and you got Michelle Louis, right? And then keep going down. Now, if you want all the literature, everything that you own, wait, go back up. This is the last part. Go back up. You will select it. So go right here to select all. So if you go to select all, boom, right? You got 5 documents. You will hit the download button, and it will give you everything you need: the annual report, the perspectives, the summary report, everything that we talked about, statements, and every information, because you own this, right? So you want to get all this information in regards to it. So this is the good way to do it. Like I said, if you don't have $3,000 to open an account, you can do it with VU, right? So you can use VU, and yeah, that's basically how you get into 500, how you get activated, and how you get started. Now, if you want to learn how you get the money again, you're going to have to go back to the other podcast, because we talk about that tax related. We talk about how you able to take money and file it off, because the government will allow you up to $6,000 a year. They will basically reimburse you, or you can write it off up to $6,000 a year of how much you want to invest into the S&P.
That's personally, or when you have a business?
No, personally. So we talked about that last one.
Absolutely.
If you go back to that, it's 590. If you go to if I'm correct, I think it's in publications, the IRS 590.
IRS publications. Yes, we talked about that
590A or
last
590B. Yeah. So if you go on the
Absolutely.
last podcast, you'll get that information on how to get involved in that. It's amazing. Yeah.
Let's go.
And,
so remember to download.
Okay. Now go to Amazon real quick.
Okay, so back screen, like Google it.
Yeah. Google Amazon. If you can put it in your search bar, you just put because that's the new Google. No, but you can just put Amazon in your search bar, it'll pull right up.
We're looking at the stock price.
No. We didn't care about the stock price, because remember, you get ownership of that in the S&P. Because today we just talking about the S&P.
So we just going to Amazon.
No, we're going to Amazon, the website.
On a website. Gotcha.
Yeah, Amazon. Okay, now we're gonna go John. Now we're gonna go we're gonna type in John Bogle.
John JOHN
and space BOGLE. The little book of no. Just hit his name. Yep. Okay. Yep. That right there. The little book of common sense investing. Open that up. Now that's a good read. Now John Bogle was the CEO of Vanguard, made drastic changes. You see the ratings on the book, right? The book is an awesome book. You don't have to purchase it. You can get it from the library. The library has the audio too. I forgot the name of the app, but if you got a library card, you can listen to audios for free. They have the audio, or you can go on any audio place you want, and you can read the book, and he'll give you a little bit of breakdown of why this makes more sense. He was big on it. He accomplished his goal, passed away, multi-billionaire, left everything inside of there. It's a great, like we talked about the trust. So moving forward to backwards, right? This trust fund, this is the reason why I took you there. Now you have an account with them. Now you executed a trust through a lawyer, which DC done had people on his show who talks about that, right? So then now you have that inside of your hand. And then now, instead of giving ownership to, your child or something like that, you can give ownership over to Vanguard. And they're going to distribute the funds accordingly when you're not here. So like if you have a grandchild, right, 20, 30 years from now, they can get a call saying, hey, when you purchase this property, you got a down payment for your grandfather or your great grandfather, down the line, and distributed of this accordingly to this. So it operates when you're no longer around. So it's it's changing that curse, man.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah, definitely, definitely, man.
All
So
right.
yeah. Any
Stop
more
sharing.
questions? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We done. We done. We done lit it up like I mean, like we always do. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
It's just so much. Yo, it's funny because the more I was talking to my boy, which he's asking me, "Are you on right now?" I sent him a link, so I'm not gonna right. And but there's so much to discuss in regards to this. I actually want to have guests to come on your show who could just speak.
Let's go.
Talk to me. Yeah, just random. So that's what we're looking for too. We're looking for anybody who's interested on
Yep.
coming on here, having this conversation because there's a lot to talk about, ways to navigate. Um, I'm also I got my hands, I mean, my hands are clean. I mean, we can do this
Yeah.
together. If you scared, we can I can show you how to do this where you take minimum loss. We can do it on a tax-based level, or we can do it on an individual level. Now, there's another thing in the tax code where you're covered up to $3,000, up to 3,000, 1,500 to $3,000 a year if you take losses. So let's just say, for instance, you invested in Uber, right? You invested $10,000, you sold your Uber, right, at $2,000 because of the market right now. You can write off $7,000. So you'll write off the amount until it reaches $7,000. So it's very hard to take losses. The more hustles that you involved in, the more taxes you're gonna owe anyway. So just allowing yourself to pay off, you can. But I'm all for it, man.
Let's go. Yeah. We got them coming in. Any questions, anyone? Come on, drop them in. Cause speaking of that, what's your cash app? Because that was a lot of jewels you just dropped just now. Like invest, like you put them to Vanguard and you put them to like the dividend. Yo, like
I'm showing the crazy part about it just was so hard for me, man. And like I just want to see people shine. You feel me? Because
absolutely.
like nobody was giving this information to me. And I was just reading and reading and books and books and books. And then I could just shorten this up. Like this is the short version. You know what I'm saying? Like like I can show you how to do it in steps. You know what I'm saying? Like how I do it. I even got video of when I first opened my account. Like I still got the video when I first opened that account. And yeah, it's exciting to know that when I'm no longer here, my money is still gonna operate. You know what I'm saying? It's
Absolutely.
still gonna move around
Because it's
accordingly.
gonna pass down. It's
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah,
passing
yeah,
down.
yeah. It's just like a lot of people use that function. GoFundMe. No,
Yeah.
no, it's GoFundMe. Yeah, a lot of people use that function. I think it works in some cases, right? You have certain circumstances that we can't foresee, right? But but GoFundMe can't change things over time, right? So if something happens to me, yeah, we get enough people to put 50,000, right? But what's going to happen to that 50,000 is going to be distributed and dispersed, right? It's not going to do anything good for the kids or anything. But if you have this account of this money that's moving around when you're no longer here, and maybe you need $1,000 to go 100 years, you can do that now. You can put the money into this account. 50 years from now, they contacted my grandson. He'll be 50 something years old, and he got money from me. You understand? So whatever his hardship is, or whatever he got going on, he can be great.
Yes,
It's just
absolutely.
changing
And
the world.
definitely look into the episode where Clyde Slade was talking about when I was sharing my screen, the difference between a will and a trust. Very important. Very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, DC got a lot of different things going on, and
So
it all comes together. Like it's different episodes. You just got to push yourself and watch it through. You know what I'm saying? But there's some bars on these. He has universal life. So now that we have an understanding on this, now you can understand how universal life
yes.
structures their plans. They use the
Yes.
S&P, right? They use the S&P to take the work away from you. So
Hmm.
it's almost the same thing. I had a guy, I had a boy travel out here. He told me he had a universal life, and I looked at him. I was like, you know, I wish he understood the S&P because that's what they use. They benchmark is that. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it's structured to so these indexes, and another thing is why they're so important. If you work and you get a retirement or a pension like I'm gonna get, right? They're using the S&P. So when you're looking at, okay, you know, why is it important? Because that's how they run a retirement system. You have to generate money from the index to create money, right? So they have to structure. My job, I have a whole printout of their perspective, what they're purchasing, what they're not purchasing. And so when people tell me that they're scared to invest, I tell them they don't understand how America really works, because the retirement system, New York City retirement, California retirement, all these retirement systems is structured on the market. So we need the market. So we're just nothing but a little fish swimming around in the market when we put our money in. You understand? We're inside the same market that's being utilized every day to employ employees and stuff like that, right? So the Gap, or whether it's Louis Vuitton and all of this stuff, this is how they get high quality employees. They don't just give them cash, they give them benefits. And the benefits include stock purchases and stuff like that. So like if you work for a company, maybe you work for Walmart, maybe you work for Gap, maybe you work for Coca-Cola, they will give you a percentage of their stocks too for ownership.
Absolutely. And that goes back to when a lot of people, when you are employed by, let's say, Amazon, or you're employed and you are unionized. When you're unionized, you get benefits. So when you get benefits to health care, and you can get benefits to pension, all of that is related to the stock market and points. That goes back to what Clyde Slade was in.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything's in it. Insurance is in it. Health care,
Absolutely.
everything is based off the benchmark, you know, of the market.
Yes.
So it's very
Yes.
necessary.
So you're employed. So whoever you work for, your employer gets to whether paying your insurance, all of that is into the stock market.
Yep,
All of that.
Yeah, yep, it's in there. So
yeah, absolutely. And when you have to pay your dues, that's a whole nother conversation. That's when the part where they get into lobby, and that's a whole nother conversation.
man, but everything's ran by the market. Yeah, this was amazing. But it's crazy because all our conversations all lead up to the next video. You know, it always leads up to the video before, you know, because we did have conversations about dividends. We had conversations about everything that we talk about right now. And it just, you know, we have conversations about real estate, right? Conversation about development and how things were changed. And like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. We have a conversation about Kanye, though. We ain't talk about him, right? Yeah.
I mean,
we ain't talk about Kanye yet. We gotta leave Kanye.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. If you watch the last episode, Nyron brought it up, and I'm like, I really want to talk about this.
When was this?
In our last episode, he talked about it.
When?
Not the last one. The one where TC was back, where he was talking about.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, you didn't see that. When he brought up the whole Kanye West situation, that's when the part where we was like, all right, so since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Yeah. Don't get me started. Listen, I don't censor this podcast, y'all. I don't censor this.
Yeah, we going because just in case they do censor, we gonna leave that for another podcast because there's a lot of information in regards to that. So I mean, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, but that's another podcast for itself.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah, and I watched 3 hours and 25 minutes into that interview. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't yet. I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Drink Champs?
Yes. Oh. Drink Champs, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole nother podcast for itself. But yeah. Anything else to talk about, Clyde? Like
No, I
Anything,
mean,
any additional anything?
no, I want to leave it. I want to leave it to the S&P today because it was structured very well, and I
Okay,
want people to get that information, and then I want that to be the lead off.
gotcha.
And oh yeah, question for you: Are you activated in the S&P? Because we need to get you activated. So whatever we need to
Oh,
do, you telling Zells and all of this cash out, whatever we need to do to get you activated, we need to sit down and activate you. Make sure you activate.
oh, so that way, okay, let's
We
get
need
it.
to get you
And that
activated.
way, and that way, if we get on, then the audience of the DC Incentives podcast, we gonna get on it.
We need
Definitely.
to get you activated into the S&P.
Let's
That's you
go.
know what I mean. It's a brotherhood thing. You know?
No, that's a fact. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's
Yeah.
set it up.
No, we've
Yo, I'm
been.
telling you.
I'm not gonna front. You've been doing your homework on it for a while. Like you've been hitting me up off of this. You've been messaging me. Hey, what's up? What's going on with this? You know, and it's good you got to be able to see. But today, I think today that part that we talked about the S&P was powerful. That's gonna change your perspective. When somebody says something about the market, it's gonna change because it's not my opinion. I always tell people, I'm just showing you. Now, I choose to say different things today in regards to it, but if I just showed 14, 23, 33, back down 2,000 points, shaved off 20%, it shows
Okay.
we're not doing bad, right? But if you look at it based on the market, and right now, everybody is saying that the S&P is not doing great this year, and I'm like, what year did you get in? Because and we broke it down. We went to Vanguard.
Yeah.
We showed
Yeah.
5 years, 10 years,
Yeah.
3 years, and all of this information's
Yeah.
online. So if you think that we scrutinized anything, you could go back into and check it out.
Let's go. Okay. All right. So if that's the case, that's gonna be the conclusion. Yo, when I create my when Patreon comes, Patreon comes, I'm telling you, this might not be public information anymore. This is only gonna be for the Patreon members. Maybe.
Yo, we gonna do some thing. I got a lot of different things, man. Like we just scratching the surface. Like I'm still out here sports betting. I'm bro, I'm just scratching the surface, right? Because then now we need to learn how, because that's another question, right? How are we gonna get this money to put in the market when we don't have this money? Because we're coming through hard, because we're going through hard times. That's gonna be the next episode. Let's run it. That's what we're
hold
going.
on. So I need to. So the next series,
Is
because
how
not
we're gonna
everybody's saying this is a series now. This is a
yeah.
whole.
How are we going to create this money collectively? So all together, right? We're gonna sit down, right? And we're gonna say, how are we gonna create this money that's going to go inside the S&P 500, right?
So we're gonna
Because
do a
we know
part
we
two.
go to work. We know we go to work every day, and that money that we go to work is extremely accounted for already. And I do understand that severely, right? So we need to create other avenues, right? I don't even think we need to create it because the avenues are already created. We need to pull back. We need to pull out from the created avenues. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Okay.
Because the avenues is created already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, all we got to do right now is just boom, boom, boom. Let's take it out. So
Let's go. Okay. So next episode is going to be how are we going to create this money collectively? That's going to be the next one. So stay tuned to that, everyone.
Yeah, love, man. Love.
And any last words, any conclusion, final thoughts, anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm only on Facebook, so you can clearly hit me up on Facebook. Come add me. Let me know what you're interacting with. Let me know what I could do. Services are, don't worry about it. As long as you're not stopping me from putting my money in the bag, I tell people when you stop me from putting it in the bag, it's the only time I ask you for something. You know what I mean? But if you talking to me, I'm just talking.
That was real.
Yeah, I'm still bagging the money, but it's when I gotta be like, when you tell me hold on, I'll pull the money truck up. But when you tell me hold on, I need to put the money in the bag for me. That's when we change.
Let's go.
I'm sitting here putting the money. I'm shoving it in the bag.
I'm just. That's
Yeah.
all I'm doing. It's like,
And another thing, I want to work with you on some things, man. I want to get you over. I want to get you over to the sports betting.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about this week. I need to get you over, and what they allow me to do is share my bets now. So once I add you in, I was gonna share it over, and you could run it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say let's run it. It's the reason why I say let's run it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're gonna get some money. It's the fourth quarter too. So that's how you know we run it.
COVID just lit us up. You know what I'm saying? It just took us to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's crazy though, bro. I'm about to post that COVID took us to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Like when it dropped, you know the thing is though, when COVID happened, that was the first time I invested into the stock market. That's a fact.
So they said you know what's crazy? A lot of people left after that. They said all the people winning, they left, most of them.
Really? Yeah. So after the COVID, it was like, I'm out.
Well, COVID did not set a great example of how the market reacts. And that's why it was important for me. That's why it was important for me to show you the S&P part. That's why that was so important to me. Because I could not go on without showing you what you see versus what they pumping it. Because you're going to have a total different conversation with people when they talk about the S&P, because they're going to be telling you facts that don't exist. And when you go back to 2011, you're going back to
He said facts that don't exist.
Yeah. when you
start using that word.
When you showed them 2011 and 14, when you say, okay, please explain to me why this been around for so long, right? And let's talk about 2011. We're gonna even talk about before 9/11, and this is the reason why I put that September, right? So you're looking at September, right? Right, and so and then you're looking at, who you looking at from September. I mean, not 9/11, but you're looking at from September to 2004 years later, it only went up 900 points. And then after that, it went up like 600 points. So, but then when you look at it from when most people jumped in, it went up 1,500 points. And then so now it came down, everybody started going crazy. It's all in the numbers, bro. Numbers don't lie. Bro.
Numbers don't. Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't.
Everything else is good. Everything's good. So we gonna drop the next one soon.
Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna definitely drop the next one. How are we going to create this money collectively? Let's get it. All right, y'all. That's the end of the episode. All right, we out. Yo, let's get it, man.